Almonds. Almonds contain significant amounts of phytic acid and tannins, especially in that brown outer skin. These compounds bind to minerals like calcium, magnesium, and zinc, and prevent your body from absorbing them properly. Soaking for 8 to 12 hours activates enzymes inside the almond that begin breaking these anti-nutrients down. That's also why soaked almonds feel lighter and easier to digest. At around 6 hours, hydration has started, but phytic acid reduction is still incomplete. Between 8 and 12 hours, enzyme activation reaches a genuinely effective level. Beyond 12 hours, you cross into a different problem. Almonds begin to ferment in water, especially at room temperature, leading to off flavors and microbial growth. After soaking, peel the skin off. It comes off easily, and that step removes even more tannins. And always discard the soaking water. It contains the dissolved anti-nutrients you were trying to get rid of in the first place. Walnuts. Walnuts are rich in healthy polyunsaturated fats, but they also contain enzyme inhibitors that interfere with protein digestion and a natural bitterness from oxidation. Soaking for 6 to 8 hours reduces those inhibitors and pulls much of that bitterness out into the water. Why less time than almonds? Structure. Walnuts are softer and more porous, so water penetrates faster and the activation process kicks in earlier. Soak too long, and the high fat content becomes a problem. Prolonged water exposure combined with microbial activity can turn walnuts rancid or sour. Rinse thoroughly after soaking. This removes both the bitterness and the anti-nutrients released into the water. Cashews. Cashews are where most people make their biggest soaking mistake. They soak them too long. Compared to almonds or walnuts, cashews contain lower levels of phytic acid and are structurally much softer. 2 to 4 hours is genuinely enough to improve digestibility, reduce anti-nutrients, and soften them for blending. After about 4 hours, cashews start to break down rapidly. Their higher carbohydrate content makes them especially prone to fermentation, resulting in a sour smell, a slimy texture, and actual nutrient loss. What makes cashews unique is how quickly they transform once soaked. Even after just a couple of hours, they become extremely soft and creamy, almost neutral in flavor. That's exactly why they are one of the most widely used bases in plant-based cooking. Once properly soaked, cashews can be turned into ultra-smooth sauces that mimic cream or cheese, thick dressings that actually emulsify instead of separating, dairy-free milks that don't need straining, desserts like cheesecakes, creams, or fillings with a naturally rich texture. This works because soaked cashews don't just soften, they absorb water into their structure, allowing them to break down into a completely smooth paste when blended. That's something dry nuts simply cannot replicate. Never soak cashews overnight. It's one of the most common and easily avoidable mistakes in plant-based cooking. Hazelnuts. Hazelnuts contain enzyme inhibitors and moderate levels of phytic acid, particularly affecting fat digestion, which matters because hazelnuts are an extremely fat-dense food. 8 hours is the sweet spot. Too short, and the digestive burden stays high. Too long, and the texture degrades. What also matters with hazelnuts is their skin. The thin brown layer contains tannins, which contribute to bitterness and can further interfere with mineral absorption. After soaking, that skin loosens slightly, and if removed, it reduces astringency and improves taste. One extra step worth doing after soaking: dry them or lightly roast them. This improves both the taste and shelf stability while keeping the digestibility benefits you gain from soaking. Pecans. Pecans are structurally similar to walnuts, same fat composition, same enzyme inhibitors that interfere with fat and protein digestion. 6 to 8 hours breaks down those inhibitors while keeping the nut intact. Over-soaking makes them too soft and introduces off flavors. Because of their high fat content, drying after soaking is especially important. Leaving pecans moist makes them significantly more prone to going rancid. Macadamia nuts. Macadamias are one of the lowest anti-nutrient nuts that exist. Minimal phytic acid, easy to digest even raw. So why soak them at all? Primarily for texture and a slight improvement in digestibility. That's it. Beyond 6 hours, there's no additional benefit. You'll just end up with a mushy texture and nothing to show for it. Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are dense, selenium-rich, and contain a meaningful amount of phytic acid that binds minerals. Because of their density, they need a moderate soaking window, similar to walnuts. 6 to 8 hours reduces the mineral binding effects and improves digestibility. Beyond that, over-soaking causes excessive softening and structural breakdown. And with a nut this dense, that's hard to reverse. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are exceptionally high in zinc, but much of that zinc is bound by phytic acid and unavailable to your body without soaking. This makes pumpkin seeds one of the most impactful nuts or seeds to soak, especially given how common zinc deficiency is in modern diets. 6 to 8 hours allows water to penetrate the seed and triggers meaningful phytic acid reduction. After soaking, dry, or lightly roast them. This restores texture and enhances flavor without undoing the benefits. Sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds contain phytic acid and enzyme inhibitors similar to pumpkin seeds. Soaking for 6 to 8 hours increases the availability of vitamin E and magnesium, two nutrients sunflower seeds are genuinely rich in, while reducing digestive strain. Their medium density means they follow a similar timeline to pumpkin seeds. Soak too long, and they become overly soft and lose the texture that makes them useful in most recipes. Sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are one of the best plant-based sources of calcium, but here's the catch. Most of that calcium is tightly bound to phytic acid, making it largely unavailable without intervention. Soaking for 4 to 6 hours breaks that bond and significantly improves calcium absorption. Because sesame seeds are small and hydrate quickly, they don't need as long as larger seeds. One important note, grinding after soaking dramatically improves nutrient absorption. Whole sesame seeds, even when soaked, can pass through the digestive system partially undigested. If you're soaking them for nutritional benefit, grind them afterward. Chia seeds. Chia seeds behave completely differently from everything else on this list. Instead of simply absorbing water, they form a thick gel-like coating from a soluble fiber called mucilage. This gel slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and actively supports gut health. The goal with chia isn't anti-nutrient reduction, it's hydration and gel formation. 30 minutes to 2 hours is all it takes. One thing worth knowing, never eat dry chia seeds on their own. They will absorb liquid inside your digestive tract, which can cause real discomfort, and in larger amounts even a blockage. Flax seeds. Flax seeds contain the same mucilage as chia, and soaking releases it, supporting gut lining health and bowel regularity. 2 to 4 hours is enough. Long soaking is unnecessary and breaks down the texture without any added benefit. Here's the key thing with flax. Soaking alone isn't enough to get the full nutritional value. Whole flax seeds, even soaked, often pass through the gut undigested because of their hard outer shell. For maximum benefit, consume them soaked and freshly ground. Hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are the exception. They contain very low levels of phytic acid and enzyme inhibitors, and they are naturally easy to digest. No soaking needed. Not for anti-nutrient reduction, not for digestibility, not for any meaningful nutritional reason. You can soak them briefly for texture if a recipe calls for it. But if you've been soaking hemp seeds out of habit, you can stop.